All right, so joining me now is Peter Cantone, the owner and founder of Pandemic Solutions. Originally, I was supposed to have John Leone on from National Fire Safety, but there was a last-minute change. So Peter is joining us now. Peter, thank you for coming on in such short notice. I do appreciate it. How are you doing today?
Good, Matthew. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, sure. So if any of our listeners remember, back in September on the 28th, I had Peter on to discuss Pandemic Solutions, his new company, and what was going on. And obviously back in September, things were very different. We were very concerned about a fall surge, which luckily wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. So we're grateful for that. And so, Peter, tell me a little bit about what new things are going on at Pandemic Solutions.
Yeah, we've added a few people to our advisory board. Keith Watkins, who's the current assistant facilities director for New Rochelle. He's on our advisory board to kind of give us some guidance with schools. We've added a microbiologist, Heidi Wilcox. She's been a microbiologist for over 20 years. Just to vet a lot of the products that we have. And we've also added Jeremy McDonald. He's a principal owner of Gus DeConzo, a consulting engineer. And that's for our other technology that we've added to the wider array of products that we have. When we first talked back in September, we had disinfectant equipment, sprayers, and a disinfectant solution. It was a hydrogen peroxide at the time. We've since expanded to a 100% botanical disinfectant that's a lot safer for the environment. You can spray it without personal protection equipment, a lot safer in the schools, because what we found is that a lot of these other disinfectants that are out there, not the ones that we had, which was a hydrogen peroxide, but more so the ammonia-based disinfectants, which make up about 95% of all disinfectants that are out there, are really not good for breathing purposes. Whoever's spraying it, it's just not good for the indoor air environment. So we've since moved further away from that, and that 100% botanical disinfectant is truly the safest that you could spray out there, and it's a proven disinfectant, and it's on the EPA list N, which is registered and approved by the EPA. On top of that, we've added an antimicrobial coating that lasts up to 90 days. It's in combination. If you take a look, at the protocol, you got to clean the surface first, then you disinfect with the botanical, and then you add this antimicrobial coating that'll last up to 90 days. And it's a nanotechnology that actually seeps into the first layer of the surface that you're spraying, and will stay there even if you rub and you're putting your hands down or whatnot, because playing on the desk, etc. It'll stay for up to 90 days, which is remarkable. It makes it a lot easier to kind of have that added level of safety. And then we're moving on from surfaces and disinfection and protection. That's something. Those are new things that we've added. But one of the biggest things that we recognized was the fact that the air, it's the airborne particles, the viruses in the air that could stay in a couple of hours, and that's really where a lot of the transmission was happening and is still happening. And so we've brought on another technology. It's a bipolar ionization technology. And to kind of take a step back before I get into the technology, it's good to understand the physics behind it. So the Earth's atmosphere currently produces ions naturally. Ions are electrons that actually will cling on to bacteria and virus and inactivate them. So when you're out in rural America, upstate New York, on high mountains, near waterfalls, or even after a major rainstorm, you'll get that. When you take a deep breath, you smell it, very strange, something interesting. And that's actually ions that are actually out there, and they're currently scrubbing the air. What happens is, however, when you come into urban environments or higher density environments, those ion levels drop. And when you go indoors in those environments, they drop even further. And so that's where a lot of the transmission happens, right? So like we don't, that indoor air quality is not up to snuff. It's not, you don't have enough ions indoors.
Right.
And so what this technology does, it actually produces healthy ions in the supply plenum of the HVAC systems and dumps them back into the indoor air, raising the ion levels and basically inactivating viruses and bacteria as people are breathing them out. So this is not a new technology. This has been around for over 10 years. The company is a manufacturer in Connecticut. They're headquartered in Fairfield, Connecticut. They have this product installed in Johns Hopkins Hospital, NYU Langone, Northwestern University. I can go down a whole list, but it's very impressive and it's very exciting technology.
Yeah, that's great news. So I also want to touch upon, we got the good news over the weekend that starting March 19th, restaurants can operate at a 75% indoor capacity for indoor dining. So what kinds of things have you seen at restaurants when you sell the equipment and cleaning solutions to them? What kinds of recommendations do you have for restaurants that are looking to get cleaning supplies and make their facility cleaner?
The biggest recommendation I would say is this new technology that we have from Atmosair. It's the bipolar ionization technology, because of the fact that it is an active and advanced air cleaning and scrubbing technology versus a passive where everyone went and put filters in. That's considered passive, meaning that you're waiting for that air to be pulled through a vent and then filtered out. Okay. This is more active. This is coming out and blowing ions as people are breathing. Right. So one of the things that we have to understand is the fact that we want to make sure we are, and it's always been the same philosophy from the very beginning, let's be proactive. Let's not wait for something else to happen, right? So restaurants, yes, 75%, fantastic. I mean, I feel bad. These restaurants are suffering. They've been suffering for a long time now.
Absolutely.
But the point is that there's funds also now, the CARES Act that they have access to help. Actually, this falls into that CARES Act funding, but that could pay for it. But the point is that to invest in certain technologies that proactively are going to help them stay open and never have to be shut down.
Yeah, no, that's great. And as you mentioned, these restaurants all over the place have been suffering tremendously ever since all this started nearly a year ago. Once the shutdown started to take effect, and then even when they started to reopen, they still had restrictions such as, sitting at the bar or, the capacity restrictions. And, I think also the New York City restaurants are frustrated because their guidelines are not the same as all the upper counties throughout the state. Hopefully soon they'll be back with the guidelines and on the same page as the guidelines throughout the state. So can you tell me a little bit about what types of contracts you have currently going on? I know the last time we spoke, you were in talks with a few NBA and other sports teams. What's going on with that?
Yeah, that's going very well with the NBA. We're in talks right now with the Cleveland Cavaliers for Rocket Mortgage Arena. Nice. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And we're doing a few pilot programs in schools in the area. I can't tell you right now. It is going to be that news is going to come out very soon. But I will tell you it's very exciting. We've done some test pilot programs in some schools. And they're totally excited about this because it's one thing that, we feel like from the outside, the teachers have to come in, what's going on? Because I'm a parent, I have kids in the school. I want things to be normal, right? Just like every other parent. But the same token, you have teachers that are reluctant because the schools in general haven't done a great job with the ventilation part of it.
All right, Peter, so we will continue this after our short commercial break.
Sure.
So we'll be right back after these messages. Keep it right here with The Chamber Show here on WVOX. I'm Matt Ricker. We'll see you in a few minutes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to The Chamber Show here live 1460 on your AM dial and worldwide at WVOX.com. Today is March 8th. We're here every second and fourth Monday of every month. And today I'm glad to have Peter Cantone, the CEO and founder of Pandemic Solutions. Peter, thank you so much for coming on today. I enjoyed having you back here.
Great. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So before the break, you were discussing the new products that you have for different businesses and including restaurants, schools, places of worship. But let's talk about the catering halls that are going to be allowed to operate March 15th with 150 people indoors, I believe, with testing, of course. So tell me a little bit about that. What kinds of things you're preparing for, and what and if any catering halls have approached you with strategies and with contracts.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you bring that up because I'm in talks right now with the someone that's heavily involved in the catering industry, and they're very excited about our approach. And when I say our approach, I mean this new, we've trademarked, is called the Safety Triad. And what the Safety Triad is basically all of the products that we have being applied properly. So, for example, on the surface and disinfection side of things, we have that botanical and the antimicrobial. On the air purifying, we have the most advanced air purifying technology that's around. And then there's a third piece that we didn't really speak about. It's the bioscreening technology. It's a patented bioscreening technology that we have. So right now, you walk into the hospital or a school and they'll check your temperature, right? Mm-hmm. The reality is that temperature only, you have an up to 88% chance of missing someone who might have COVID, right? So our technology doesn't just test for or screen for temperature. It actually screens for blood oxygen, which is a key indicator.
Wow.
Respiratory and heart rate. And the blood oxygen is the most important. And the technology is hospital-grade level accuracy, right? Because you have a wide variety of trinkets out there that, people holding a gun and putting it to your head. It's 94 degrees, you're 100. They're all over the place, some of these things. And this is hospital grade. So you're getting the most accurate temperature. You're also getting the blood oxygen, like I said, and that's key. And so when, going back to the catering halls, right, you have a bride to be, she's sitting with a caterer and she's worried about flying in her relatives from all over the place. What's the best thing you can do? If you have a safety triad in place where you can present something and say, hey, look, we're going to make sure that everything's disinfected with the botanical. We have antimicrobial that we spray over that. Then we have this bipolar ionization technology that's blowing into the catering hall. And on top of that, we have a bioscreening to make sure that we don't have anybody walk in, especially employees, walking in that may be sick. I mean, that's safety. That's a package.
Yeah, and also, it also helps that a lot of these places are required to have the MERV or MERV 13 filters, correct?
Yeah. That's the standard operating procedure, like the EPA just wrote. Yeah. Set those standards up. Is MERV 13. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with MERV 13? The details of that?
I am, but tell our listeners a little bit about that.
Okay. So the MERV 13, MERV goes from anywhere from like MERV 5 to MERV 20. And so the higher the MERV rating, the tighter the filter, right? So the MERV 13 can capture 50% of particulates that are above 0.3 or below 0.3 microns. All right. The SARS-CoV-2, which is the virus that causes the coronavirus, the COVID-19, is 0.1, so it's less than 0.3. So that MERV filter is not really the best. It's not the end-all. And the reason why the EPA didn't go up further, because they could have went to MERV 15 and MERV 16 or 18 to tighten that up to really capture the 0.1 SARS-CoV-2. The reason is that you're putting a major stress on the HVAC system if you do that, right? You're suffocating. You're not allowing that air to flow the way it's supposed to be normally flowing. And you'll end up either damaging the HVAC system or requiring tremendous amount of maintenance on the HVAC system. Is it better than the lower ones, the MERV 8? Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely going to capture, like I said, about 50%. So that's a good start, but it's not the end all. And so when you add the bipolar ionization, now you're talking, you're at a different level.
So I want to ask you, what is the cost between, obviously before coronavirus, people, I'm sure people and businesses just had the general filters. So can you tell us the difference between the cost of the two? Are the MERV filters more expensive, or?
MERV filters are not that expensive. You have to pay more for labor time for the HVAC contractor to come in and change out the filters. What becomes more expensive is guys try to put in MERV 15, 16, 18, or a HEPA filter. That's going to put undue stress on the energy costs of the building, right? Your energy costs are going to go up 30, 40, 50%, and you'll end up damaging the HVAC system eventually. So what this ionization technology allows you to do, because it does such an amazing job filtering out, to give you an example, ASHRAE, which is the regulatory body for the HVAC industry, in commercial buildings, it's the standard is you have to bring in a minimum of 20% outdoor air. Okay, because they want ventilation. This is a regulation. With this technology, Atmos technology, it allows you to bring that down to 10%. And the reason is because it does such an amazing job scrubbing the indoor air, you don't need more outdoor air. Yeah. Okay? That's all tested and approved. Okay. So when it comes to, somebody thinking like, oh, you know what, this MERV 13 is just 50-50, let me move up. That's not a good idea, because then they're going to end up damaging the HV. This is an actual better alternative.
Okay. All right. Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. I do appreciate you coming on. And for those who are interested in Peter's products, please follow Peter on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, pandemicsolutions.net.
Yeah. All right. Well, Peter, thank you so much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for all you're doing for the community.
Yep.
And
thank you, man.
You're welcome. Take care. And that's all for the Chamber Show on this 8th day in March. I'm Matt Ricker.